Hey, what's up? How we doing? All right, let's get going. I'm just gonna fart around and watch, look at a little bit of news, see what's going on. Hey, Unsafe, how are you? Some whiskey and a cigar? My man. That's what I was gonna do, but I decided to skip the stogie tonight. All right, better stop that before I get a DMCA again. They so mean. They so mean. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah. So where at? At home, or you anywhere in particular? Oh, what is going on with this thing? Out on the deck. Very nice. It's cool where you're at. That's good. It's still a little hot and humid here. Ready for some cooler weather. Okay, well, what's going on with this music here? I got no music. Where's the music? Oh, there we go. Very nice. Good. Glad you got some good weather, because it kind of sucks here, but not terrible. Just a little muggy still. All right. All right. Let's see here. All right. So there was another plane crash close by me. That's a bummer. Let's take a look here. Can I share my screen? There we go. All right. Dirt Track Hall of Fame driver Scott Bloomquist believed dead in plane crash. Vintage plane struck a barn on the Bloomquist family farm in Tennessee. Hmm. It's my flying club put this in the chat. I don't really know him, but that is certainly sad. Let's see what's going on. It's probably way too early to have any kind of information on it, honestly, about what caused it. But vintage plane on the Bloomquist family farm. He's 60 years old. NASCAR titan Kenny Wallace on Friday called Bloomquist the greatest dirt racer to ever live. Hawkins County, that's where it was. Where is Hawkins County exactly? Not too familiar with that area. Oh shoot, that's out past Knoxville, up around Kingsport. Okay, pretty good ways from where I'm at. The Hawkins County Sheriff's Office said in a statement that the remains are believed to be that of Scott Bloomquist, but official identification will come later from county forensics officials. Reed Miller, owner of the popular dirt track Mobley Motorsports Park in Mobley, Missouri, cited a Bloomquist family member when he reported on Facebook the crash took place on the Bloomquist family farm in Mooresburg, Tennessee. 7:47 a.m. So I wonder if he was coming in or heading out. Damn, crashed into a barn. I wonder if that was like on takeoff. Something went wrong. He was the only person. Oh shit! It was in the Cub. J3C65 Cub. Standard Cub. Things are nice. Yeah, Cubs are made by Piper. It said somewhere an antique one, but I wonder if they know exactly how old it was. His dirt track, yeah, debuted in 1937, but I mean, hell, they still make Cubs, or I don't know if they make that exact model, but Bloomquist was never. Looks well. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't say how old his was exactly. I mean, probably doesn't really matter, but well, that's a shame. Yeah, no information on it yet, though. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Like the plane I'm flying tomorrow, I would consider relatively new, and it was built in 1978. Um, the first plane that I started training in was 1960, 68, or I can't remember now exactly how old it was. It was in the 60s. But yeah, that's the thing about planes. They go through pretty good inspections every year. They're called annuals. And I mean, as long as you've got a good mechanic, or they're called A&Ps for airframe and power plant, as long as you got a good one who knows what they're doing, they'll make sure your plane's in top flying condition. You know, the engines get overhauled, everything gets replaced as needed, so it's not like a car. So that is a shame. All right, let's see what's going on in the world of politics stuff. Supreme Court denies Title IX rule expansion protecting all those letters and plus students. An emergency request from the DOJ. Oh, I hadn't heard about this. Interesting. Okay, so the Supreme Court struck down the Title IX argument by the Biden administration, which um, would have included include expanded protections. So basically, the Biden administration was trying to use Title IX um, pretty much for trans students protections. Okay. Oh, the policy did not address transgender athletes. So what was the point of it? Of course, Sotomayor dissented. Imagine that. Yeah, let me start back. It probably would help if I started at the top in red, wouldn't it? Let's see. Denied an emergency request from the DOJ to enforce updates to a federal rule that bars sex-based discrimination in education. Okay. Why it matters, the decision effectively halts a Biden administration rule that would have expanded Title IX in 1972 civil rights law to include expanded protections for LGBTQ plus students. Oh, so it was a split there. 5-4 from the High Court rejected a request to allow some parts of the rule, largely those that don't pertain to gender identity, to go into effect in states where challenges that address transgender issues are playing out in lower courts. So this is interesting. They were trying to use it in regards to transgender issues, but they weren't using it for transgender protections. On this limited record and in its emergency applications, the government has not provided this court a sufficient basis to disturb the lower court's interim conclusions that the three provisions found likely to be unlawful are intertwined with and affect other provisions of the rule. Sorry, my washer is beeping. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who dissented, wrote, by blocking the government from enforcing scores of regulations that respondents never challenged and that bear no apparent relationship to the respondents' alleged injuries, the lower courts went beyond their authority to remedy the discrete harms alleged here. So she's saying they overstepped what the allegations were. Federal judge blocked Biden administration's rule extending the Title IX after a lawsuit brought by the attorney generals in a number of Republican-led states. At least 20 states blocked the new policy over similar complaints. All right, here we go. The federal rule protects against discrimination based on sex stereotypes, sexual orientation, gender identity and sex characteristics. That's a new one to me. Policy did not address gender athletes. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to dig into this one a little bit more. I honestly don't know if I want to. Let me see what the updates are. Lawmakers criticize proposed Title IX changes guiding trans. Yeah, see, everything is in regards to the athletes, but this one says it wasn't. Yeah, another one where it says it was regarding transgender athletes. But right here it says the policy did not address transgender athletes. What the fuck? Everything I click on. The policy did not address transgender athletes, and the Department of Education has said its rulemaking process is still ongoing for a Title IX regulation related to athletics. So I don't understand this at all. Yeah, I don't know. This was almost, to me it's almost like they floated a trial balloon for it. I mean, that's a hot button one though. You start floating the Title IX stuff, of course you're gonna have the GOP folks smacking it down hard. All right. Well, that was the first article. Let's see what else is popping off here. House Republicans target Tim Walz in a new probe. Imagine that. All right, I'll bite. What's the investigation about? Panelists spent the last year and a half trying to bring to light damaging information about President Biden. Now it is setting its sights on the new Democratic ticket. This this is the era we live in, and it's so gross. Driving the news, Oversight Committee Chair James Comer sent a letter to the FBI Director Christopher Wray asking for information about Wall's connections to China. Okay. He spent a year teaching in China after... Okay, so he spent a year teaching in China, so they're going to go fishing. He has visited around 30 times. Now, that is interesting. Okay, spending a year teaching in China is one thing, but then visiting 30 times? I can see why they might want to just take a peek and make sure everything's on the up and up. Alright, as long as they don't get too crazy with it, I can understand that. The guy's running to be a vice president, and he's visited China 30 times. Worth looking at. Yeah, me too. Even if he wasn't an American official, he's running to be vice president. It's worth looking at. Yep. Okay. Nothing burger at the moment. Survey: women oppose leaving abortion to the states. All right, I don't care about that. I don't like those surveys. All right, let's take a look at the Medicare drug price thing. And then I'm going to go to some more techie news and get out of this depressing stuff. Medicare negotiated a better deal than the private market for some. Programs stopped selling drugs. All right, good. Around a 22% reduction. Alright, good enough. Moving on here. Anything on Ars Technica to look at today? No, nothing good. New Windows 11 build removes ancient arbitrary 32 gig size limit of FAT32 disk. Okay, there's that. ISP to Supreme Court. We shouldn't have to disconnect users accused of piracy. Kind of agree with that. I think internet needs to be regulated as a utility. I'm all for free markets and everything like that, but the internet's just way too important in people's lives these days. Dang, shooting brake coming to the US. BMW's gonna bring the M5 station wagon to the US. That's pretty solid. I don't know why I've got such a boner for awesome station wagons, but I do. Ooh, that is nice looking too. Oh man. Very nice. People say it's too heavy. Well, big girls need loving too, is what I got to say to them. Yes, I would call it a Woody. Very nice. If I bought one of these, I would try to get like a Woody wrap on it too, man. That would be fucking sweet. Oh, I like that. I'm not even a big Beamer guy, but man, that is nice. $122,000. Woo, never mind. Never mind, brother. A little out of my price range. Alright. Last thing I was wanting to do here. Let's see if I can share this, I'm gonna do a little flight planning here. See if I can, share my screen out. See if I can do this. Hold on, uno momento. Maybe later. I think, yeah, lonely. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, no shit. Mike Drudge is definitely not running that show anymore. Alright, I'm gonna do a little flight planning here. I'm gonna go for a flight tomorrow. Hopefully. I'll fly the Arrow. Tomorrow. What time did I say I was gonna go? Yeah, let's go. We'll depart at noon. 500. Yeah, why not? Speaking of flight plans, did you hear about the Navy cracking down on lewd call signs? No, I have not. I would like to hear that. Yeah, man, I'll be on here for a minute. Let me get the Google Voice thing loaded here. I'll make sure it's up for whenever you're ready. Make sure that's not showing. Okay. Alright, it's up. I should hear it whenever you're ready to call. Alright, let's look at logbook. I'm not gonna fly the Aero tomorrow. I'm not gonna fly 05 Romeo. Nope. See? Alright. It's a little backwards here. We're gonna fly it. Let's do 65. Oops. Can't rotate this. Here. Do this. Ah, crashed. Edit. Rotate. There we go. That's a little easier to look at. Alright. I'm gonna fly full throttle. I'm gonna give her the beans, full throttle. 2400 RPM. Alright, so if I'm flying at 85, I'll have to reduce her to 18.6 manifold or full throttle. Okay. Alright, go away. Let's see how I can answer. Caller, go ahead.
Turn your radio down.
Is it still too loud?
No, I'm
oh, okay.
Yeah, so there was a story earlier today, that I think it was now I'm second guessing myself. I think it was one of the E6s, the Doomsday plane, that took off with whatever its tactical call sign was, and then after it was off the military base, changed its in-flight call sign, because military planes, they set their call signs in the cabin. So it changed from whatever the assigned call sign was to IDIC 69.
Yeah, here it is.
And
I just found it. It is IDIC 69.
Yeah, and nice. So the Navy, when somebody found it on the flight tracking software stuff, and was posting it on Twitter, the Navy was like, no, letter parts of their call signs are assigned by a computer randomly, and it was just IDIC, and the 69 was just a random number combination after that. They just, mistook it for the phrase, and everybody in the veteran media was like, yeah, no.
Yeah, nice try.
they just did that, yeah.
Yeah.
And the article went on to talk about how it's been a thing that has happened for a while. People haven't really gotten in trouble unless it has caused kind of outrage.
Like this.
There was a parent. Yeah, well, the last two that they mentioned were flying over the Middle East. There was one that flew over the Middle East during some sort of conflict where people cared. And they had changed their call sign to titties. And then another one changed it to fucko or something.
Nice.
And they were saying that both of those guys had lost their jobs.
Oh shit, really? Oh yeah, here 2022. Yeah. It's a little further down the article. Appropriate action after KC-135 Stratotanker broadcast the call sign just titties. It wasn't even like trying to put like a 1 and a 5 for the S or anything. Just straight up titties.
And I've seen some questionable stuff before, but it has been like plausible for whatever their mission was,
Yeah.
If it was, a really fast fighter or something, it would say like penetration or something, abbreviated funny. Or like I've seen some questionable stuff, but no, titties was. There's no defending that.
Yeah, a B1 Lancer broadcast their call sign as fuck 0107. The B1, the bone. Nice. God.
Yeah.
This one that prompted this one today, though, once it was identified, one squadron leadership learned the call sign. Out. Yeah, they were in flight and got chewed out for it. One squadron leadership learned of the call sign designation. It directed the crew to change to alternate call sign STOB7 for the remainder of the flight. So they didn't even land, and they got their ass chewed probably. Oh my God.
Yeah. From what I understand, they'll take off with a relatively normal call sign, and then they'll have it again when they get back into military controlled space. But when they're in uncontrolled airspace or they're in a civilian controlled airspace, they just use whatever they want.
That's great. But it cracks me up that people don't think that oh yeah, no one's gonna catch us doing this. It's like
Yeah, and I wonder how old. Well, I wonder. I mean, I guess it was the officer in charge's responsibility, even if he wasn't the one that said it. But I just wonder how old of a service member are we talking here?
Probably not that old.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, all pilots are officers, but some officers are 19, and a 19-year-old makes different decisions. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Do they have warrant officers that fly these, or is that only like for helicopters?
I don't know about the Air Force. I know in the Army, warrant officers can fly rotary wing craft, but anything that flies anyone who flies a fixed wing aircraft in the Army is an officer.
Okay. I'm not. Yeah. Either way, though, I mean, they're probably about 30.
I mean, if you're 30, you've been in the military long enough to have a career. And you need to be making career decisions. And I guess that guy made a career decision.
He made a career decision, that's for sure. He may be busted down a rank or something. Who knows? Do they bust rank? Bust rank for on officers? Do they do that? Or like they do enlisted men?
Oh yeah, they do.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on how bad of a. I mean, it really depends on honestly how embarrassed your CO got. Because if it was minor, you might get busted down a rank. But if they got really embarrassed, then you probably just lose your commission.
Yeah. If it was too bad, but what was it today? We were looking at all these names. I can't remember what the one was today that they got. IDIC 69. Maybe not gonna lose your commission for that, but the one that like had fucko 107 on there, maybe, or just flat out boobies.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and doing it over Kona, I am more understanding than having titties flying over the Middle East.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's pretty good though. No, I had not seen that. So how was the stogie? What'd you have back there?
I think this was just mass market stuff, Perdomo. I mean, it's Connecticut tobacco. I don't smoke often enough to be able to do anything nice, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about having one, but I just decided to stay inside and read some news and do this. I was kind of bored. I'm about to go to bed soon anyways.
No problem.
All
I'm
right.
outside, so I can actually call in. But
Yeah.
have a great evening, man.
Thanks. You too. Talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Mr. Unsafe. Calling in from the Connecticut. All right. Well, that's all right. I'm going to finish up this planning here. What was I looking at? Oh, yeah, the power setting table. All right. I'm going to fly at about 8,500. So I could go 65%. Okay. All right. So let me see what that's gonna give me. Hour and a half there with a 15 knot headwind. That's not bad. All right, I think that's good. I'm gonna pack that. Let me see. Hopefully BNA lets me. Surely they'll let me cut through. Are they gonna have anything active tomorrow? I really hope not. They're pretty cool about letting me cut through. Usually the MOA here, Campbell MOA. I'll call them tomorrow before I depart. Last time I called them, they said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be active." And then as I got close by it, I was on flight following, and I told Center that I was gonna divert around it, and they said, "Oh, we already talked to him. There's nothing going on there." And they passed me off to it, and they said that, "Oh yeah, we're cool. You can come on through." So I don't know what the deal was. What's an MOA? Military Operations Area. So this is Fort Campbell, Kentucky, right there, and all those beautiful pink boxes here. Oh, you can't see it. I'm sorry. Forgot. Let me turn it back on. All those beautiful pink boxes right there. Not the magenta line. That's my flight path. But the pink boxes around there where it says, like right there it says Campbell 2 MOA, M Campbell 2. Military Operations Area. Legally, I'm allowed to fly through there. It's just advised to be cognizant of it, depending on what kind, because they may have training activities going on. Now, this beautiful red one right here, the R3702, that's restricted. I'm not allowed to fly in that part, and that's right where the base is. But those pink lines all around it, those are different training areas that are reserved for it. So legally I'm allowed to fly in it. It's just depending on the MOA, you might not want to if it's really heavily trained. Now these if they've got like fighter pilots or fighter jets training and stuff, you probably wouldn't want to fly through there. These guys fly helicopters mostly in Campbell MOA, so like I said, last time I flew around this area, I wasn't going to fly through it because the night before I called and they said they were going to have some active training going on, but the day came and they didn't have shit going on, so I just flew through it. I've heard stories of people getting intercepted for practice before, like they'll do practice interceptions. That'd be pretty cool. As you can see right here, they have different designated areas for it. I'm not quite sure why they do that for here. I mean, I guess because of the altitudes, but like this looks pretty complicated, but it looks like basically I would enter this one right here. I would be well above it. It goes from the ground up to 2,000, and then the next little bit right here looks like it would be from 1,500 feet of AGL, which is above ground level, to 10,000. I would be in that because I'm planning on flying 8,500, and then 500 AGL to 10,000, 2,500, 10,000. Yeah, so I would be in the MOA, but it'd be fine. I'm gonna fly here. Alright, let's see what the weather's like right now. Let's see what's gonna be tomorrow. What's the wind? Oh, it's gonna be nice. VFR, no ceilings. Visibility is 10 statute miles plus, probably. Very little wind. 260, 270 on the wind. It's gonna be nice. Come right in for probably a straight in for 2.8. Hell yeah. Two box Vassy. Alright. Looks good. Let's plan that out. Let's get a weather briefing once this is done. Oh, what happened to my thingy? Stopped broadcasting. What happened to the Flama Blanca? There you go. Alright, all packed up. Flights. Alright. Alright, man. That's it. I'm wrapping her up for the night. Alright, man. Thanks for talking. See ya.